Welcome to this lesson on statistics. Today, we are going to talk about a concept that trips up beginners and experts alike: confounding variables. These are the hidden factors that can completely distort the results of an experiment. So, what exactly is a confounding variable? Simply put, it is an outside influence that changes the relationship between the two things you are studying. It is often called a lurking variable because it hides in the background, making you think you have found a cause-and-effect link where none actually exists. Let's visualize how this works. Usually, you are studying an independent variable, the cause, and a dependent variable, the effect. A confounder is a third variable that is related to both. Because it influences both sides, it creates a bridge, making it look like the independent variable is causing the dependent variable, even if it is not. Here is the classic example used in every statistics class. Data shows a strong correlation between ice cream sales and shark attacks. Does eating ice cream attract sharks? Of course not. The confounding variable here is temperature. On hot summer days, people buy more ice cream, and they also swim more, leading to more shark attacks. The heat causes both. Why should you care? Because confounding variables lead to false conclusions. In medicine, this could mean approving a drug that does not work. In business, it could mean investing in a strategy that is actually useless. Confounding introduces bias into your sample, making your data misleading. When designing a study, watch out for these common culprits. Age is a big one. Older people might have different health outcomes regardless of what you test. Biological sex and socioeconomic status are others. If you don't account for these, your results might just be reflecting the differences in these groups, not your actual experiment. How do we fix this? The best way is randomization. By randomly assigning people to your study groups, you ensure that any confounding variables, like age or lifestyle, are evenly spread out. This balances the groups so the only real difference between them is the treatment you are testing. If you cannot randomize, you can use restriction or matching. Restriction means you only study one specific group, like females between 30 and 40, to eliminate variation. Matching means for every person in Group A, you find a very similar person for Group B, ensuring an apples-to-apples comparison. To wrap up, remember that correlation does not imply causation. Always look for the hidden third variable that might be influencing your data. By using techniques like randomization and matching, you can control for these factors and find the truth behind the numbers.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.